We partnered with a media outlet called the Intercollegiate, which investigates college sports programs. And one way that they investigate is by obtaining many exit interviews. So players are anonymously giving their athletic departments feedback on what they thought of the program that season. And when we got to the Texas Tech women's basketball surveys, every single player who filled it out in 2019 had a negative experience according to the program and the software that Texas Tech used. So we wanted to investigate further the allegations listed, and I just started reaching out to players. And in the end, I spoke with 10 players who have played at Texas Tech over the last couple of years, 2 of their parents, as well as 2 former assistant coaches. And here's what we found. So players wore sports bras that had a Zephyr chip in it that was tracking their heart rate. And this was one of the ways that Texas Tech women's basketball coaches have measured what they described as their players' effort over the last couple of years. The coaches would be tracking their heart rate, and that during games, they were expected to maintain a heart rate of at least 90% capacity at all times. They had 2 minutes to spare. And after games, they would come in and they would see who made this and then who the coaches deemed off because their heart rate had allegedly fallen below 90% capacity for more than 2 minutes of game time. So I spoke with a sports medicine director in North Texas and a athletic performance director for the Houston Rockets, who told me that it would be physiologically very difficult to maintain a 90% heart rate capacity or higher for an entire basketball game because, as they said, basketball is a game of interval training. And players told me that they were doing pretty much whatever they could think of to keep their heart rates up, whether that was, oh, we're in pain and we're injured, but we're not going to take Advil because maybe being in pain will help us meet these metrics. And another player told me she would just jump up and down on the court in hopes that her heart rate would stay high because if not, their playing time might be affected, they said. In addition to that, players tell me that post players were called disgusting, trash, fat pig, or grossly disproportional on different occasions. And one player in particular, Emma Merriweather, described for me what she called a humiliating weigh-in experience with the strength coach, Ralph Petrella. Post players generally said that they would even go to extremes such as not drinking water before a weigh-in to make sure that they would have enough time to pee out and not weigh more based on that one weigh-in. But Emma said that during this one time, spring 2019, she went into the weight room. Ralph ordered her to get on the scale, and she said that he then announced her weight to the entire room of men's basketball players and told her that her body was disgusting. Emma describes it as the most embarrassing moment of her life and said that on the bus ride home that day, she had a panic attack and the bus driver pulled over to make sure that she was okay. So Emma Merriweather tells me that she had panic attacks on the way to practice multiple times because of fear of what her coaches would say in practice that day. A couple of the ways that coaches would respond. One time, she was speaking with assistant coach Nikita Lowry-Dawkins, who told her that she needed to stop looking so sad in practice, Emma tells me, because she was going to bring everybody else down, and did she really want her teammates and coaches to feel the way she did? So Lowry-Dawkins gave Emma a rubber band, told her to wear it around her wrist, and every time she had a negative thought, to snap it. Emma also had a dog, Mikey, whom she said helped, and she was intending to register Mikey as an emotional support pet, but she said that Stallings told her Mikey would be a distraction to basketball and instead had someone take the dog away. So players tell me that their strength coach, Ralph Petrella, said and did different things that they considered inappropriate. So one player told me that Petrella said that if he were younger, he would punch her in the face, which made her uncomfortable. She told me that she felt unsafe. Another thing that concerned players was a technique that Ralph described as RPR, which stands for Reflexive Performance Reset. And he would apply pressure in various places as a recovery technique, but at least one player said that included going under her sports bra to touch her chest and under her spandex shorts to apply pressure to her groin. And I was trying to understand more about what RPR entails, so I actually spoke with one of the co-founders of the technique, who described it to me as a technique that is actually something that you do to yourself. The whole idea is to give athletes this empowerment that they're able to speak. And he told me that he said that they say around his gym, if you're touching someone else, you're not doing RPR. So one of the most interesting parts about this whole investigation might be how much documentation of these allegations existed before we started reaching out to players. So players told me that they spoke with compliance in fall 2018. They told me that they spoke with compliance after the 2018-19 season. And so we just see that the school and even the NCAA in some places had so many instances of documentation of their allegations. But players told me that at least on 2 incidents, they felt that after they went to talk to compliance, Stallings retaliated. Each of the 10 players who I spoke with have concerns about what they describe as a toxic culture in the Texas Tech women's basketball program. I went to the school with this list of allegations, and in response, we received a statement from athletic director Kirby Hocutt and from the head coach of the program, Marlene Stallings. Hocutt acknowledged in his statement that they were made aware this spring of allegations of inappropriate behavior by a member of their support staff for the program. And when confronted with these allegations, the member chose to resign. In addition, he said that they launched an investigation that included a member from the athletics department, Title IX, the university's human resources department, as well as a faculty representative looking into these allegations. When we asked for a written report of those allegations, I was told that the committee reported verbally to Hocutt.